You spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, round, 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 round. Hey yo pretty people, my name is Expert. Welcome back to the Unity SMP. Friends, I'm kinda tired of doing this. Of doing all this. Of doing all that. So today I feel it's about time we did something with it. But before we get to any of that, I really want to say thank you for all of your suggestions in the previous comments, in the comments of the previous video. I am reading, I am listening, I will be taking a look at them once more next week when we will be deciding on what to do with our little load of mending books. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a bunch of mending books that I want to redistribute amongst the players, but I want to do it in a fun way. So I want it to be like maybe a competition or maybe something fun like that. One way or another, I'm listening in, and we actually had a pretty interesting conversation about it in my Discord server. So yeah, if you're not a part of that, I'll try to remember to put an invite link in the description of this video. Anyway, yeah, today we'll be taking all of this and kind of putting it into a more automated environment. We need to start working on the longer part of our base. And before we do that, we need to make sure that the machinery inside of that longer part is in place and in perfect working condition. So yeah, we'll be installing a sugarcane farm in it, and furthermore covering it up so no one can guess that it's a sugarcane farm, because I'm secretive like that. One way or another, this will actually have to wait. We'll have one more community service thing to do, and yes, it is something to do with my mending books, because Carrie, the Android miner, who is also whitelisted on the server, in the previous video actually commented that she actually needs a mended book and needs it badly enough to go out and comment about it apparently. So this book that I just crafted and threw into this guy's face, give back, thanks, we shall be delivering to Carrie's house, and on my way there I feel I need to figure out some kind of a punishment, I mean price for it, and me thinks that instead of just taking her diamonds this time, we should probably pull a bit of a mafia on her and just ask her for a bit of a favor, especially since I have one in mind already. So, here's her house, and okay, this chest is a mess, we ain't gonna bother it too much. However, we will leave her mending book, which she requested, and also we'll leave another pretty curious piece of literature with it. You see, this is a book that I simply titled An Offer. Which, yeah, sounds sinister enough, right? Dear Android miner, and I know guys, you are probably just blown away by my amazing book formatting skills. Funny story, on one multiplayer server, I actually used to publish my Minecraft fanfiction in written books, and it was like considered the most luxurious item on that server by just basically anyone, because they were that hard to actually create and retype in the game, because copying didn't really work. Well, it did work to a certain degree, but whatever, it was on Java. On Java, written books are just not as awesome as on Bedrock. Anyway, the book. Dear Android miner, enclosed within this chest is mending one book you requested in my comments. I am offering it to you in exchange for an interior decorational favor sometime soon in the future. To accept this offer, simply apply the mending one book to any of your equipment. So yeah, she can kind of keep it. Actually just found a loophole in this thing, because if she does not apply the mended book to any of her equipment and just sells it off to, like, say, Dr. Jim, then she doesn't have to do anything and can keep the whatever she'll sell it for. But it really, no, it doesn't work this way, because then she doesn't actually get a mending book or a amending tool anyway. So yeah, I'll just leave it as said. I really don't want to retype that entire thing. Okay, now back to the thing that we are here for. Sugarcane farm, yay! And also, if you are wondering, and you probably are, I am planning to kind of use her interior decoration skills, or just generally design skills for the insides of the villager dungeon. I feel like at some point I will need to create a bigger, more spread out network of catacombs, and yeah, I'm not good at designing those either, because I'm not that good at designing the interior. So yeah, I will need someone to just go through and help me out with it. Collabs are fun, we should have more of them. That's basically the idea here. So, while the real me is busy harvesting quotes for observers and whatnot, here's something for you to ponder. So, in a recipe for the enchantment table, the book in the middle comes from a book, the corner pieces are obviously from the diamond, and the 4 obsidian block somehow form a singular block wide table. However, and this is a really kicker that at one point didn't really blow my mind, but kind of left me wondering, where does the cloth come from? So, in an ironic twist of fate, I actually had to mine for cobblestone, of all things, to make the observers. And now that I think about it, yeah, I should have mined even more, considering that I also will need pistons right now. So, pistons! Boop! 29 pistons. Maybe even more pistons? More pistons! Can I boop them? I cannot, because I don't have enough iron. Whatever, I have an entire farm of it. I should just go fetch it. But before we do that, let's just talk quickly. Actually, while we do that, let's just quickly talk about what are we doing here with the actual sugarcane farm. So, obviously, it will be basically this, but without the dispenser bit and without the unnecessary redstonery. So all of this not needed, all of this all we need. An interesting thing that I've been shown basically by the server members is this waterlogged hopper serving as a place near which we can plant sugarcane. Now, in theory, we could just make a line of waterlogged hoppers and use them for delivery of the items. The problem though kind of arises once you realize that, yeah, sugarcane and pistons don't really like each other that much. The thing here is that when you have your sugarcane growing up and growing all the way up, boop, boop, and the pistons go, yeah, you saw, one fell into this thing, the other fell onto the ground next to it. Heck, the thing actually might stack up in here, basically not letting you pick up 64 of your own, okay, not really owned, but yeah, of your own sugarcane is my point. That's frustrating. That's not something that I want to happen. So yeah, we will have to skip on the waterlogged hoppers after all. One way of fixing this would be actually placing a minecart, a hopper minecart inside of this block, but kind of shift it tiny bit to this side, so half of it is still sitting on top of this item hopper, while the other half is still sitting on the inside of the sugarcane block. This way it actually will pick up the spoils, but it only really works for this farm and not the other ones, because, well, why would you? First of all, that would require 3 times more iron than just, you know, this design here, and second of all, that would require a lot of hopper minecart entities, and we don't want that. Hoppers will already be causing enough lag and enough, you know, trouble to make as it is. So if we still gonna use the minecarts, the hopper minecarts to pick up stuff, why not just do this, right? And have a single hopper minecart line underneath the sugarcane. I feel like that would be the optimal solution here. As long as we make sure that the sugarcane doesn't fall out of this single block, and that we light it up properly, because right now it's not lit at all. So yeah, I'm thinking that we'll be doing this and a single line of minecart with hopper. But now we run into that old problem with hopper minecarts stopping between the chunks. And I honestly feel like this time I actually will go for powered rails instead of the water solution I tried the other time. It just feels more convenient and way easier to make. Okay, so here's the plan and here's the walk around this time. Instead of confining the bit only to the limits of the line that I set up as my, base for my house, I feel like I will actually utilize the entire chunk this time, and won't probably utilize this chunk at all for anything but basic back and forth running. Actually, now that I think about it, this is where I probably will put the stairway. If not here though. Yeah, this is also a good place for it. A stairway to upper levels of the house. Here we will be doing a bit of a... Remember my idea from the previous episode with the smokestack? That's what I want to do. I want to mask this as a ginormous friggin' boiler chimney. Like a ginormous some sort of furnace and stuff. And actually, on top of this farm, I really want to actually make a functional furnace too. A mega smelter, mind you. But yeah, for now we're working here inside in the boundaries of this chunk, and we will be making it one chunk only. We won't be going out of this separation, and we won't be making 4 copies of this thing like I did with the melon farm. Whatever, it's sugarcane, it grows all the time. If it's automatically harvested and automatically delivered to a single chest, it will pile up. Like, that's one thing I know about sugarcane. There's always a ton of it, and even if this will not be enough, I also have a manual farm over there. So, with all that said, what are we doing here? Well, first we will be picking up stuff using this here. There, and we will be harvesting stuff using that there, obviously. The unloading mechanism here is tiny bit not perfected just yet, as you can clearly see. Why isn't it, you ask? Well, I have no idea. Yeah, I have no idea why it's not working. It should, by all accounts. The way this thing is set up is that as long as there's any items in this hopper right here that goes into the chest, the rail remains unpowered. But once everything is unloaded, the rail is powered again, and the minecart, it's supposed to just blaze away on its own, but it doesn't. And I'm guessing that's because I kind of messed up. And the 2 bits of powered rails are too much to push, too much for it, so it stops before it actually reaches this block. The idea here is that if it reaches this block and it is being pushed, if the rail are walking up, so to speak, by redstone signal, while the minecart is touching a block, then the minecart will bounce off of that block. But if it isn't, it will just stand there like an idiot. And that's incredibly frustrating. That's one reason why I usually don't want to hang out with this type of deal. Right? So for another try, let me just drop some stuff in it. Let me run it, I said. Run it through. See, it stopped tiny bit away from this thing, and once it's unloaded, I said once you are on, give me that. Huh? So you do work. Why didn't you walk that one time? Whatever, I'll figure it out. Well, this looks like it's gonna be it. A simple, pretty basic, and pretty functional too farm for sugarcane. And as much as I kind of keep saying that I hate this resource, I really this might be like my favorite resource on the other hand. It's just something so good about it when you just set it and forget it, and that's just about it. Well, we made this tiny bit chunk sized, so it's a 16 by 16 area that we're occupying for it, so it will get loaded instantly in its entirety. And my next plan for it is to basically, first things first, encase it in the cobblestone, just so the things that are dropped are not dropped outside of the farm, basically, just are dropped on the inside of it where the minecart can pick it up. Now, there are more efficient designs. Obviously, like always, I'm not really aiming for the most efficient stuff. I just want something automatical to walk with me while I'm spending my life around building stuff in the area. Because really, this is what it's all about. This is my personal way of AFKing. Actually playing the game just somewhere near the thing that you're supposed to AFK at. Where's my cobble? I gotta place it. And so we have a cobblestone a cobblestone box. I'm sorry, I'm so terrible at spelling anything today. Yes, a cobblestone box, and there's some sugarcane farm inside of it. I surrounded it with cobble, and yeah, I feel that it will remain this way for now. I do not intend on making another farm stick out of the structure like this. So this is actually a very unique way of incorporating it by not incorporating it at all. The reason I picked cobble, actually, because this was a conscious choice, was once again because I wanted to do that whole chimney idea. And yeah, this is one big chimney, mind you. But the building won't have more than one, and really you don't need more than one boiler in your house. So yeah, we'll be just fine for now. I will have to incorporate it on the other side of the building somehow, and one idea that I had was to actually include a bit of a pipe sticking out of the area, like a circular pipe thing that would actually have some water pouring out of it. Heck, if you really think about it, you know what would be amazingly cool? I feel what would be amazingly cool is to, instead of making my system for retrieving all the items entirely internal and just solving it all using hoppers and whatnot, what if we took this chest right here that already has half a stack of sugarcane somehow in it? I didn't even play around that long, so this thing is efficient after all. So we take that chest, we take the remaining chests from the pumpkin and melon farms, and here's an idea, and this is something I once again will ask your feedback on, because this might be pretty stupid, and probably like a competent redstoner would absolutely point out a good 1,000 of flaws in this plan, which is why I'm putting this out for the end of the video, for the comment discussion section, where if we have, okay, get this, if we have a pipe, like an actual giant stone pipe sticking out of the building, making the helping with the entire factory setup, but out of that pipe we also have a water stream pouring out as if it was some kind of mutagen or whatever. Imagine this. Imagine at the same time that we would use that same pipe to actually funnel all of our items into a singular storage system. So not only would you see a pipe from which water is constantly flowing, but you also would see a pipe out of which the water is flowing out, and in that water stream, melons, pumpkins, sugarcane, whatever trash we're farming, that would be pouring out out of the system. And it would be such a great way of highlighting how just alive our base is, our world is, that I feel we absolutely have to do it. So once again, down in the comments below, do leave me some suggestions if that sounds stupid or not to you, because there are chances of like item despawnage and I don't know, water streams not working properly, on all sorts of crap. But if you feel like this is a good idea, do let me know. I am looking forward to seeing your comments once again. And next week I will be also addressing the ones for the previous video, in which I asked you to suggest some sort of a challenge or some sort of a, you know, tournament for the members of the server to battle out, with the grand prize being a chest full of mending books. I have only 7 emeralds right now on me, but that's because I basically just now have sploofed all of my emeralds and all of my resources on another batch of mending books. So this is gonna be amazing when it's gonna be. Well, friends, for now that's gonna be it. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do like yada yada. Once again, do reply to my questions in the comments. And yeah, this has been the Unity SMP. This has been Zloy XP. To be continued. Have a good one. Bye bye.